Something I like to do instead is to bring defenders and use Lightlocke. So yeah, pretty simply, it's just a way of getting some bonus damage out, but that's a lot of damage from a healer. So if you are lacking the core teams, the best strategies, Lightlocke is actually a very legitimate placement option. I hope you enjoyed the short story on Lightlocke. That is Gear Rad 1 stage 13, cleared using a Lightlocke built for DPS in yellow or legendary gear. So yeah, you can do it. You can beat stage 13 without using legendary heroes. I would recommend watching the Gear Rad 1 guide video I recently uploaded. It covers the strategies and the details of how I do this. Everything I explained in that video was used in this video. Nothing new was done here. It's exactly the same template. In Watcher of Realms, you need to make do with what you've got. You need to figure it out with your roster. So me showing you a verbatim way to beat the mission is not going to be helpful to 90% of people watching it. So I personally like to focus on explaining strategies and techniques, and that way people can figure out how to implement them and incorporate them into their own runs. So, just to really clarify this, I guess, because it might be helpful for some people who really are lacking AoE mages, Lightlocke is not really a DPS, but he can be pretty good in the right circumstance. The circumstance being, you can put down a defender or a fighter, have them surrounded by enemies, but they still lose enough health that he can spam out his ultimate. So you can see I haven't really got many skill ups in him even. I've got none in the attack increment and only one in his ultimate. And the one in his ultimate is just increasing his healing. It's not actually increasing his damage. So I didn't have enough skill dust at the time to actually level up his ultimate. He does have max awakenings because I just pulled loads of him naturally, but I can't unawaken him just for the video. I'm pretty certain if you used him plus an Iona or just another AoE DPS, you would be plenty fine. This was just to show that you can do stage 13 with just a Lightlocke and in really kind of mediocre legendary gear. He has a bunch of crit damage on his subs that is just useless because his crit rate is just far too low. But hey ho, and also I didn't have an autumn. I wanted to use an autumn, but I just didn't pull her. I blew a bunch of random summons yesterday and I got a Nunea, so I used her instead because she can boost your attack bonus by 15%, which is something, right? It helps because Lightlocke does scale on attack. I also decided not to use my Dolores because it's kind of a cheat code to use my Dolores. She is in mythic gear, she is 6-star, she's everything else, and she's not attainable. You have to be lucky to pull her. So I did it using just Lightlocke, and I did it with Mary, but I mean, Mary doesn't deal damage. This is just random regen gear, and it's all plus 12. The benefit from Myth Gear is mainly that you can plus 16 it. If it's left at plus 12, it's marginally better than Yellow Gear. I used a 4-star Livian to tank, so you don't even need that much on your defender to keep them alive. And I did use Voltus for some damage, you saw, and I did put him in Yellow Gear. He's got 1 red, but again, the difference in stats is, what, 5%? So it's nothing. This is a crit damage main on this one, just because I didn't have any other Yellow Gear. Yes, it's glowy and fancy, but you can farm that before 13, and it sucks. This is not a good piece. It has no attack on it. He only has 53% crit rate, which is why he didn't do very good. I just didn't have much Yellow Gear to put on him. The main focus was Lightlocke in Yellow Gear. So anyway, yeah, that's it. That's the team. That's how I did it. I'll explain how the strategy works precisely so you can understand exactly what was going on in the sped up clip. So this is it, stage 13, pod is off, go to fight. This is the roster. So to explain the roster, we have Ein, because Ein is giving all watchers 10% base stats, and occasionally he'll be boosting their damage and healing multipliers, right? I mainly want it for the base stats because I have Lightlocke. Then of course we have Lightlocke, the main DPS / healer, Livian, the main defender. I had down a mid-and so I could heal the bottom side, but whatever healer you have to heal, use that. I haven't built many other healers other than my core healer, so I can't use another random healer. This is the healers I have. I had a Vorov just so he could tank at the wall. I didn't have another defender to use. The only defenders I've built are Regulus and Olag. Regulus is a legendary, so I didn't want to use him, even though it doesn't matter. And Olag shields himself, which means he won't be healed by Lightlocke most of the time because his shield will be eating everything. So I chose to use Vorov. He's in HP % gear just to keep him alive. He's not doing any actual damage. I have a Mary so I can apply some slows, but mainly apply the vulnerability to make them take more damage. I have a Nunea so I can get the attack boost on my Lightlocke. And I have a Na'vi so that I can get cost generation just to get the team up a bit faster. I took a Laurel just so I can get the damage boost and also some rage regen. And I don't actually use the Dolores, that was just me messing about afterwards. This run actually works a bit better using a Wrath instead of a Vorov and having Wrath help DPS things down. But mine is built in pretty good gear and I don't want to mess about changing his gear, so I just didn't bother. So anyway, this is the lineup, this is the team. So first thing, I placed down Na'vi to get some cost points. I placed down Lightlocke in the middle, facing down. That way he can cover both lanes. And then I need to get down someone blocking. So I have Vorov here, he's in the range of Lightlocke. Vorov is not going to do big damage because again, he's just in HP % gear. I can get some cost back from Na'vi. So I can now place down my Laurel to boost the damage on my Lightlocke a bit. Not a lot, she's no skill up, so it's only 10%. Nunea, so now she can provide the attack bonus. I don't want her healing the lane. She's not going to heal for a lot anyway. She's like 3-star or something and barely any gear. I can now place down Mary, and there we go, chucking some bomb heals out. I'll place down a mid-and facing up just so she can help heal a bit on the lane. If you have another healer, you'll need another healer at some point, then you just chuck them down there. It's not a big deal. And that's it, really. That's kind of the run. That's kind of the placements. You just try to line up your ultimates up top so that Nunea or Autumn buffs just before the ult, but it doesn't matter that much. And if you have a Laurel, you can increase the rage regen just to get everything smooth and flowing again. It is a bit of a pain trying to make sure that the damage actually does come out. And the wall is going to break pretty soon, so you want to just try to obliterate as many of these enemies as you can. So we're just going to keep ulting. And as the wall's about to break, we want to make sure that we actually block the boss. So I placed down the defender last, and you can see the boss has stopped on the defender. So now I despawn Vorov because I don't want him taking healing away from the defender. And that's kind of it. That's how the run works. Now the boss is not hitting the wall, as I showed in the video yesterday. So there's a lot less damage on the wall. It gives time for Lightlocke's heals to destroy the boss and to help deal with the ads. And yeah, that's kind of all there is to it. And I've still got 2 deployable heroes left. If this was a Wrath instead, I could place him down helping out. Wrath only blocks 2, so he's not going to die. But he would be taking some healing away from the Livian, which isn't ideal. But it is a 4-star Livian, which is why she's struggling at the moment, because she's got no stats. And yeah, we just want to keep cycling through as much of our things as we can. I keep losing my cursor. And as we get near to the ult again, we just pop Nunea rather. And now we're at 66 enemies. The wall has some health remaining, so we're not doing too bad there. Unfortunately, the attacks broke Lightlocke's chain, so that's a shame. But so far, it seems to be fine. There's nothing too problematic going on here. 75 out of 87 enemies have been killed. Another ult on Nunea. Can ult again on Mary. And we now have only 5 enemies remaining. 3 enemies remaining. So now we have enough that Livian can block them. So they can't actually win. Now it's just the boss, so the boss is going to get blocked until it dies. And yeah, that's it. That's it. Super easy run. No troubles there. No power of dominance. No myth DPS gear. No anything like that. Just a 6-star Lightlocke. Yes, he has some awakenings. He's in yellow gear. Full yellow gear, and not great yellow gear at that. And yeah, it seems pretty achievable. I think you can definitely do stage 13, as I've shown, without having any legendary mages, so don't sweat it too much. And if you go to the stats, you can see it is entirely on Lightlocke. I didn't even take Voltus this time. I had him previously, if you saw in the first video I showed at the start. So this is just Lightlocke killing everything by himself. The HP percent, Vorov did practically nothing. Mary did practically nothing. This is just a Lightlocke in kind of mediocre gear, killing everything with AoE damage because of slightly clever placements of fighters and defenders. So yeah, that's it. You can definitely do it. I didn't use an Iona. I could have done this with an Iona most likely, but I'm sure people would say, oh, but you have to buy her. So I figured I would just do it with the hero that you can get guaranteed. If you do have an Iona, she will benefit from her awakenings quite a bit. She gets Burst Star. She gets some more damage on this one. And if you're thinking, well, how do I awaken her? Well, Tide does give you a bunch. If you're progressing through Tide, you'll get some naturally. You'll get one at wave 50. You get another one at 35. You get another one at 20. So there are a bunch of them that you get progressing through Tide that can help out. If you really are stuck and you really want to just get through GR1, then you can do that. I would also suggest using Raph to help do DPS, because it's actually some damage. He does do some splash attack, and if you're doing this kind of slow burn strategy, then it's something. Anyway, that's it for the video. I just wanted to show you that it is attainable. You can beat stage 13 without having some crazy team, or I know it's going to scare some people, without having legendary mages on your roster. Anyway, yeah, that's it, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope it's helpful. If you have any other interesting strategies or other techniques and strategies you've adopted to help you progress, then please share them in the comments, as it may help someone else out. So, thank you guys very much for watching. Have a great day. Take care, and bye-bye.